fine can really cream us, right? We're far much better set if we pick one thing to be excellent at.
Three, two, one, yeah!
You're listening to Squeeze Limes, where truth stings, laughs heal, and nothing's off limits. I'm Tyler, the daughter.
I'm Robin, the mom. And if life gives you lemons,
We're squeezing limes instead.
so grab a seat, open your mind, and get ready to laugh or cry because we're not here to play nice.
We're here to get real. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Squeeze Limes. Today, we're honored to welcome someone who knows what it's like to lead teams, raise humans, and keep her sanity in the midst of it all. Christine Sandman Stone is a speaker, author, advisor, and founder of Deliver at Scale. With a background that spans major companies like Dell, Volkswagen, and McDonald's, Christine has helped leaders navigate tech transitions in teams, all while raising 4 kids and turning the work-life balance conversation into something real and relatable. Her book, The Modern Management Mentor, gives more than 50 tools to help new and experienced managers lead with confidence. Her earlier book, The Parent Track, is a refreshingly honest guide to elevating your career while staying true to the parent you want to be. Christine, we're so glad you're here. Welcome.
Thank you. There's something magical about a mother-daughter combo. So really thrilled to be here today to chat with you both.
Yeah,
Thank you so
of
much.
course.
We're
Welcome.
honored.
And the last time you and I spoke, you were saying that one of your books you wrote with your daughter.
That is correct. And I have seen terrific outcomes from these kind of partnerships. So really excited to be part of another one.
Oh, thank you so
Great.
much.
Thank
We're
you.
honored.
I'm going to start with you've lived in both the boardroom and the playroom.
Yeah.
When you did realize fine wasn't enough and that working parents needed something more real and sustainable, when was that fine line?
Oh gosh. When did I have the realization that about fine? I think that there was this gift that I got when I was a director at McDonald's. When I started at McDonald's, I asked my boss, like, who do you know who onboards people most successfully? And he pointed me toward this woman who ran the learning and development function for McDonald's in the US. And she suggested that each week, everybody on her team that was new did this thing she called a compass, where on Sunday you say what your goals are for the week. On Friday, you check yourself, and then you rinse, repeat, basically. And at first, I did it just to be professionally courteous, right? She had recommended it. I thought, I should do this to show her that I listened and that I took it seriously. And I was shocked at how impactful it was for me, because at that point I had, oh my gosh, 4 kids under the age of 12, I think. And I was working a lot of hours, and I would get to the end of weeks and I'd pull out my to-do list. There'd be so many things on it. And I would feel like I just failed. I would feel like I failed as a contributor inside of a large and complicated technology organization. I would feel like I failed as a parent and as a spouse, with 2 working parents and 4 kids. And what that process helped me realize for the first time is that my plan that I set on Sunday, I achieved almost every single week. And I'd get to the end of the week and I'd go through the plan and I'd be like, done, 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 got that done, 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 done. And I would think, wait a minute, all this stuff that's on my list, these are things that got added in the middle. And the thing that I liked the most about her compass was the top section is about your personal life and the bottom section is about your professional life. So I would have goals for myself for each kid, like, help this child get the bonus spelling words this week. Help this child make sure that her field hockey bag is packed. Help this child be ready for an AP test. Help this one make sure she gets to bed in time because I know she has a big week ahead of her. So I would set goals for personal things and professional things, and I was actually hitting them. And that was the moment that I realized, wow, I'm putting too much on my own shoulders. And there's a super article. I don't know if you've ever read it. from Harvard Business Review about non-promotable work, about how some people try to do everything, but the ones who get promoted are usually the ones who do one thing and they do it really well.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the the convergence of, Bonnie's insight about that weekly plan and reading that article about it is better to do the one important thing at an exceptional level than it is to do a bunch of things. Fine can really cream us, right? We're far much better set if we pick one thing to be excellent at as a parent and as a professional, and then it starts to take a lot of noise out.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of stress, right?
Yes, a lot of
Yeah.
stress.
Yeah. That's
Right.
interesting. Yeah. Makes
That's
sense, right?
amazing. Yeah, and that's something I think we talk about a lot is like, Mom, what is the I'm blanking on the phrase. It's like fine is the enemy of
Oh, perfect is the enemy of good, right?
Yes. Perfect is the
yeah,
enemy of good. Yes.
right.
Yeah.
And
Because
it's
it is. It's great. It's like Kentucky Fried Chicken. I mean, not to like bless them, but I'm just saying, like, they used to just do one thing really, really well. And I think they actually tried to do other things during it, but then they came back to what they know because that's how they blew up. That's how they were successful, is because they
Right.
did chicken right. And that was their slogan, right? But it's the truth. I use that all the time. It's for that specific reason that that's what you're saying, meaning your one goal, you're successful. That's like you can sleep at night because you hit
And
it.
and it also gets you promoted, right?
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah.
And it helps you navigate parenting is like this buffet of millions of things that we can do to raise a good human being, right? And it's so critical if we're able to talk to, whoever our partners are in raising these humans about what is our goal here? Like, what is the most important thing? And then you can start to cut things out that other families seem to think are requirements for raising good children, but maybe they're not our requirements. And you can, that focus is so
Mhm.
powerful professionally and in raising good humans.
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
So smart. Yep.
absolutely. So in the parent track, you show that parenting can actually strengthen leadership. What skill or mindset from home helped you most in your professional life?
I won't out which child it was, but one of my children was born
Come on.
with a little bit of a weak, digestive tract, and until she was probably, like, 8 or 9 months old, she would projectile vomit, and it didn't make her miserable, it was just, like, because her body hadn't figured out how to hold it in,
Sure.
and you would be holding her, and she'd be smiling, and she would just blow, and it was catastrophic, and so there were a couple of times when I would be, like, saying goodbye, and she would just go right down the front of my black suit. And,
Oh,
you have this moment where you can either cry or be upset about it or be frustrated. And instead, the best thing to do is don't waste time. Just say, wow, this is the situation and I better change quick. And you change quick and you don't think about it and you just go. That lesson, I'm kind of type A. I kind of like a plan.
Think.
I like a schedule. Man, children really teach you how to um, take a deep breath and adapt and don't overthink it. And that's deeply powerful, especially as you rise in leadership inside of organizations, right? The most effective leaders hit a snag and they're immediately figuring out how to get around it. They don't waste a lot of time thinking about it. So I would say that parenthood really humbled me and
Mm.
really helped me become more flexible than I was before I had kids. I'm
Yeah.
deeply efficient. Like, if you have to get 4 kids out the door in the morning to get to school, you start to get really good at the pre-pack and at thinking about what could go wrong, and that efficiency that just becomes part of your ecosystem when you work and have children is also deeply valuable to our bosses
mm,
in our workplaces.
Yeah, for sure. And I just have a side question.
Sure.
Your kids follow you with that?
What do you mean, do my kids follow me?
Meaning in that efficiency, are they as efficient today as like in
Well,
raising and caring?
That's a really good question. I would tell you that I judge my success as a parent. So my kids are older now. Everyone's financially self-supporting. Everyone is doing work that they love, and everyone is like hanging out with people that they love. So I'm deeply happy with how they ended up. Efficiency, I would say, isn't efficiency such a deeply personal thing? Like some things that I feel like need to happen and need to be done quickly, somebody else might look at it and
Mm.
say, like, do you really have to do that to get this outcome? So I would say that each of them is very smart about planning their lives and about getting what they want. And I would probably tell you that we all have our different mechanisms to do it.
Oh, for sure. But that
Yeah.
so they did kind of follow in suit, obviously.
Yes.
I think successful kids mean successful parents, personally.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Welcome.
absolutely. That's great. And I think it's so important, especially as a young mom myself, to like understand that although there's so much chaos and you have to be flexible in the things that happen because there's
Right.
you're learning as you're going.
Right.
You know, this is like at least for me, like the first time. So getting out of the house, going to places on time, you're trying to figure out all the nitty gritty, and then something just clicks where you're like, okay, we don't have to think about it so hard. We just got to do it. And you just got to go and learn for the next time, you know?
Yes, and I would say that societal norms can really work against us. So when I was raising my kids, I was the only working mom on the block. And I can confidently tell you that everybody else's kids had matching outfits, and everybody else's kids always had fresh haircuts, and everybody else's kids were in travel leagues and orchestra and all of these other things. And so there's this moment where we have to figure out, is this thing that I feel is so important, is that important to our family?
Mhm.
And it's okay to say, I've got maybe a different yardstick that I'm measuring what good looks like, and I'm just gonna hang in there with my yardstick. So I would say as a young parent, if you are hustling to be on time to something that really you could be a little late for, don't worry about it so much. If you have a moment to spend with your little human and really enjoy that moment, I don't know that you need to be at something that you feel every other mom is going to be at. So find your own way. I remember when I was a first time mom, like holding my first one, and it's kind of cold outside. And, one person walks by me. I'm in a restaurant and I'm walking her because she's fidgety. One person walks by me and says, there should be a hat on that baby. It's cold outside. She's going to get sick. I swear to heavens, 2 minutes later, another person walks by me and says, "Good job not putting a hat on. They can't resist." In that moment, I realized, like, wow, I'm gonna be getting all this advice from different people, and
Good enough for it.
apparently there's no answer. And so when you feel that, it starts to become kind of powerful, like, wow, this is what's good for me and my little person. And people will just say, they'll give advice, and I would go, "Oh, thanks." Thanks does not mean I'm doing it. Thanks
Right.
just means I
Right.
appreciate that you cared enough to share your thoughts or whatever. So find your own path. I think a lot of new parents, especially working parents, we waste a lot of time thinking that there's one path or there's one right way to do things. And the Parent Track, actually both books are deeply practical and they have shortcuts and tactics in them. I don't think we need to be inspired as working parents. I think we need someone to tell us the shortcuts. And it was it was fun when I would speak in front of large audiences about like operational excellence and how to turn teams around and things like that. And that's the work that I do now. And people would always ask me in the middle, like, how do you like have kids and do this work? And I would start sharing the shortcuts and secrets. And I would see their eyes light up like, wait a minute. I never thought that, like, one of the things we did is we have free range feeding where everybody can just eat whatever they want, whenever they want. We just didn't keep junk in the house. So that way I didn't care if you were grabbing a yogurt or a carrot or an apple or whatever it was. But then dinner time wasn't this chaotic fest of misery where everyone's like, "I'm starving," or "I don't like tacos," or whatever it was. And, it's my mom would have been horrified that we just let our kids go in the fridge and get something out, but it really worked well for us.
Right.
So
Who's to say, right? That's the whole thing.
right. When you look back, do you think there's anything that you wish you wouldn't have wasted so much time on as a working parent?
I think worrying,
Yeah.
because that's what I do the most of really well.
You still
It's-
do.
no, that's what I'm saying. And now, yeah, I'm a grandchild and I'm like, it's not okay to do. It hurts my sleep. It hurts it affects you. But
Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm always constantly
Yeah.
trying. But yes, I regret the amount of worry and judgment that I thought others had on me for going to work and my kids if I was
Right.
going to work. It's
Right.
just you get wrapped up in that.
Yeah.
Um, have you ever been in a situation where your professional and your personal parenting and work collided and you were just like,
Wow.
oh, boom.
I had a rough one. Um, I I was with a very large company and a new woman executive had been hired. And I ran the women's at group for our company. And they said, Christine, you should ask her if she'll speak at International Women's Day. So I traveled to her office. Her office is beautiful, like awards. It's gorgeous. She's in a great suit. And she tells me that she relocated for the job and her husband's going to follow her. And so I asked what I thought was kind of a natural question. I said, "Oh, do you have children?" Because I thought maybe that was why he stayed back. And she
Mm.
like pushes back from her desk and she crosses her arms and she's like, Christine, I have never met a successful working parent in my career. I was like, oh, darn it. Because
Oh, yeah,
right. I had 4
yeah,
and 8, and I
yeah,
thought for certain there were probably Cheerios glued to my skirt. They get a little damp and then they
yeah,
stick like
yeah.
cement. I was like, I'm in trouble here. So I checked quick for Cheerios, changed the direction of the conversation. So it comes to pass that like a couple months later, she's coming in to give this talk. My husband is abroad for work. It's me at home, and my littlest one, who's under 1, gets a fever for the first time. And
Mm.
I was like, "Oh man, are you kidding me?" 'Cause I was like, the worst thing I could do, right, is no show picking her up at the airport to
Mm,
take
mm,
her
mm,
to
mm.
International Women's Day because I've got a sick kid, right? I'm just reinforcing these biases that she has. And I called a good friend of mine and just started bawling. And she said, wait, wait, wait. My youngest is sick too. Who's your pediatrician? It was the same doctor. She's like, look, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show up at your house tomorrow morning. I'm going to get your one and mine. They're already sick with the same thing. I'll take them both to the pediatrician. Tell me what your pharmacy is. I'll drop off the prescription. We already know what's going to happen here. And that's what she did. She came and she picked up my youngest. I picked up this woman as though nothing was going on in my life. I
Right.
got her to the talk. I Irish exited like in the middle of her talk, slipped out the door, cried the whole way home because I felt so bad. And then I sat on the couch with him and he was just fine. He was fine. But that moment was really stressful.
Yeah, because you didn't really know what to do. I
Well,
mean, you couldn't let anybody down, but I guess at the end of the day, you would have to choose your child if
yes,
your friend didn't help you.
correct, correct. I would have. And for me, the punchline to that is that leader was wrong, right? She did
Oh
know
yeah,
a successful working parent. She knew me. She just didn't know that I had little ones at the time. So
right.
there's no magic path that's easy. Is
No, there's not. But
no.
that's a good doozy.
Yep.
Well, I think it also plays into the fact that there are so many of those biases out there in terms of success and being a parent. And so when you're talking all about that and you're trying to prove a point to someone that has those biases, it's like, well,
Right.
no, look at the things that I'm able to do. Yes, sometimes there will be roadblocks. It's inevitable. My kid gets sick or there's this and that and the other. but you still show up. You still do the work.
Right.
You still, professionally are doing your work, whether it's that day or the next day, or you're at home taking care of your children because that's what they need and that's maybe what you need at that moment. So
Right.
it's finding that balance, like you said, for you and what works best for your family and your career.
Yeah. So if a listener is sitting in their car thinking, is this all there is? What's one small shift? I mean, I know a whole bunch of hacks that you've given me at
Mhm.
the conference that we met you at. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. But what's one small shift they could make today to open their world a little wider?
One of my kids did her undergrad at Tufts University, and her undergrad is in cognitive science, which is this combination of computer science and psychology and linguistics, and it helps you design software that works better for humans. And she called me one day right after class, and she said, "Mom, do you know how many hugs you need a day to be mentally healthy?" And I said, "No." And the answer is 12. Like
Oh.
optimum, you have 12 hugs a day. Minimally, we need 4. And I said, "Holy cow. This is why I was so happy when you all were so little, because life was just a constant, constant hug." So that
Mhm.
for me remains a way that I kind of widen my day. I go on a hug seeking mission. That helps. I also will do something for other people when I feel frustrated myself and I feel trapped a little bit. If I do something for other people, that seems to create energy for me. And the other thing that I really believe in is something small to take a step forward. So if I want to write a book, it's daunting to write a book. But it's not daunting to write an article and post it on LinkedIn about the subject that I might write a book about. That starts to take me a step toward it. Or let's say there's a big role that I want in my organization, and I'm just going to try to meet somebody and learn a little bit more about that role. So little steps,
Mhm.
I think, also start to widen things for us as well.
Yeah, it's all about baby steps and doing, the next right thing. And that only grows your own confidence, but then it grows your success down the road.
I
So that's
agree.
that's a beautiful way to phrase it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What changes do you think workplaces need to make so parents can thrive instead of just survive?
My favorite one, and it's partially because I work in this space, is clear goals. When a company can clearly state what their goal is, and then managers are able to say, well, if that's the goal, this is the top work that we should be doing, and this is the way that I'm going to measure that we're making progress on it. When I've got clear goals with my team, I actually don't need to see them. I don't care where they're getting it done because either they're going to hit the work and the date and the target or they're not. And so all of a sudden, if I as a leader have said exactly what it is that we need to do, that starts to create all sorts of opportunities for smart people to work fast, for smart people to work from different places. And I believe clear goal setting really opens us up for flex time, hybrid workplace. And it also means that I'm helping my team focus. And when
Mhm.
focus happens, you don't waste a lot of time. So if we can take wasteful time out of the workday, we don't care where our people are. Those are two things that really help working parents.
Yeah, definitely. That's
So,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah. So to be more clear, like you're okay with hybrid or working from home or, just the flexibility of it all is so long as you're getting your work done, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Right. There's this great theory called um, results only workplace environment. And I forget who started it, but it's basically when an organization can be so focused on what the work outcomes are, they don't really care if you work 40 hours a week. If the target was set at X and you hit X on Thursday, they don't care if you're there on Friday or not. But also, if the target was X and you're working into Saturday, that's kind of okay too. And the burden starts to fall on the organization to set goals really well. And I personally have found that to be a key component of every top performing team I've ever led. We have had clear results to
That's
target.
amazing. That's amazing. You don't feel like the energy is more efficient in a room in an office
I
structure?
don't.
No.
I you know what? There's one exception. I believe that when people are early in their career and they're learning a role that is very new to them, the osmosis, like the stuff you pick up from watching somebody else do the role, is actually really important. So,
Yeah.
as a leader, I tend to have my younger, more green or new folks come into a space where they get to work with others. I just find it to be a more effective training and supportive environment. But
Hmm.
otherwise, I, while I like in person, I don't mandate it myself.
Mm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
That
that
makes
that
sense.
makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because at least for me, like I'm someone that enjoys going into work
Me
for the
too.
community aspect of it, and to like get dressed every day and go and be a part of something.
Yeah.
But also it makes so much sense, especially when you're a parent, to say, hey, as long as you get it done by this date and this time, like you do what works best for you, and that is so helpful, I think, to parents.
Absolutely. And to people, yeah.
And I'm going to build on that just a little bit. You cannot stay home with your child and work a full day. I know it.
No.
I've tried it. It's impossible. You can work from home while your child has care of whatever form it is. But if you're not the one giving the care, you can work from home very easily. So I think sometimes people think that there's some easy way to like have a playpen next to your computer, and
No,
it's impossible.
it's impossible. That's for sure.
Agree.
So
Completely
after all
agree.
you've lived, led, and written about,
Yeah.
what does your juiciest life look like for you right now?
Oh, fun. So I'm in my renaissance. All four of our kids live in different states, uh, and they do interesting work. Jim and I love to travel and visit them. So we sold the home in the suburbs. We live in an apartment downtown in Chicago. We walk to plays and restaurants and the lake and whatever else grabs us. I get to walk to clients instead of commuting in on a train. So this time in life is really super. We've thought a lot about what things we didn't get to do in terms of our work or our life or our travel. And we're catching up on that now and having a great time.
That's amazing. I love this answer because I live there too. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to have to get together.
Yes, we are.
Okay, I love that.
Exactly.
It's
Okay.
funny because you were literally saying that. I'm like, oh, that's exactly what my mom is doing right now. You
She's
moved
like,
right
why
to
are
the
you in the
suburbs,
city?
in
I'm in
the
the
city.
suburbs. I'm like, well, this is why. It's alive. I feel alive.
It is alive. This is an amazing city that we live in, and it's getting some bad press now, but I see none of the bad press at
I
all.
don't
I
either.
just
I don't know what they're talking about truly. I mean, I read it, I see it, and the news, I just don't really know what to believe about it because I
right.
am all over the city and it doesn't
Okay.
make sense to me that this is like the craziest city in the country or whatever,
Yeah.
the worst city, but it's not. It's alive and it's beautiful and eclectic and I just love the people.
And it's hardworking, and our business economy is vibrant. I get to work with so many different clients, and it's a it's a great place to spend your renaissance.
Oh, yes, I agree. I'm so glad you said that. Thank you. Need
Well,
reinforcement.
yeah, right. Is there any place for our listeners that they can look up and find you? Anywhere that you would like to give a little plug?
Oh, sure. My website is Christine Sandman Stone, and you can find out about me there. My work is predominantly doing business consulting now, usually with teams that are working really hard but not hitting their targets. And then sometimes I work with leaders or with the teams themselves, and we'll do workshops or advisory sessions, coaching. I love the work. I speak and I write books. And my two books are on Amazon, but you can also figure that out on my website as well. Thank you for
Great.
asking.
Wonderful. Of
Thank you.
course. Thank you so much for joining us. It was
Thank
really
you.
a pleasure.
It
We're
really
so
was.
happy to have talked about, just all the realms it takes to be successful in life. And we love hearing what makes you have moving from fine to better and to great and to what your calling has been. So thank you again so much. It was an honor.
Thank you.
Thank
It was a
you. Thank
delightful
you.
way to spend some time this afternoon.
Good.
Thank you
Of
so much.
course.
Bye. Have a good day.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Be sure to follow, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a good squeeze.
Of course, everybody needs one.
See you next time on Squeeze Lines.